You were not born into this. There was no name carved above a doorway waiting for you, no fortune passed across a quiet dinner table, no soft place set aside for you to land. Nobody pressed a golden spoon into your hand the day you arrived. You came into a world that owed you absolutely nothing, and in its silence, it dared you to become something anyway. Look behind you for a moment. There is no safety net stretched beneath your feet. If you fall, there is no trust fund to catch you, no famous last name to unlock the door that stays shut for everyone else. So you begin where you are, in a small room, in a cheap chair, under a light that flickers at 2 in the morning while the rest of the city sleeps behind drawn curtains. They handed some people a map at birth, every road already drawn, every bridge already built. You were handed a compass and a warning and told to find your own way through. Here is the truth nobody softens for you. There are no shortcuts to the life you keep imagining. The elevator to the top is out of order, and it has been for as long as anyone can remember. You take the stairs, one flight, then another, then 100 more, in a building so tall you cannot yet see where it ends. Nobody claps for you on the 3rd floor. Understand this early. Most of your climb happens in a quiet nobody will ever witness. The applause, if it ever comes, arrives years after the work that earned it. The world does not owe you comfort. It does not owe you fairness or timing or a gentle start. But it has never once been able to stop a person who refused to sit down. And here is the secret they will never print in the brochures. The very thing that was supposed to bury you is about to become your sharpest advantage. Because you are hungry, not the polite hunger of people who already have enough, the deep, restless hunger of someone who has seen the other side of the window and decided they belong inside. Hunger is your edge. It wakes you before the alarm. It keeps you standing when your legs are begging you to fold. It cannot be bought, inherited, or faked. The comfortable will never understand you, and that is fine. Comfort makes people slow. You were never given the option to be slow. Every closed door, every no, every quiet doubt from people who loved you but could not see it yet. You took all of it and turned it into fuel that never runs dry. Starting from nothing is not a curse. It means you owe nobody an apology for how you built it. Everything you touch from here, you made with your own 2 hands. While others waited to be chosen, you learned to choose yourself. You stopped asking for permission somewhere around the 1,000th time the answer was no. You do not need proof from anyone. The hunger is the proof. It has carried people from empty pockets to full skylines for as long as cities have had lights. So let it burn. Let the hunger stay a little uncomfortable. It is the bridge between the person you are tonight and the one you are quietly becoming. Now comes the part they leave out of the highlight reels. The grind. The unglamorous, repetitive, invisible work that decides everything and impresses no one. 4 in the morning becomes familiar. The city is still dark, the streets are still empty, and you are already awake, already moving while the world dreams on without you. The alarm sounds and something in you wants to stay warm, to stay small, to stay safe. You get up anyway. That single decision, repeated for years, becomes your whole life. Cold coffee, a quiet kitchen, the soft hum of a refrigerator and the louder hum of a plan only you can hear. This is where legends are actually made, not on stages. You do the thing that bores you until it stops being hard. You send the message no one answers. You show up on the day you feel nothing, and you show up again the day after that. There will be sacrifice, and it will be real. Nights out you did not take, weekends you gave away, comfort you traded quietly for a future no one else could see yet. Some people will drift away because you changed your schedule and your standards. Let them go gently. You are not building a life they were ever meant to walk beside you in. You will learn to love the silence of early mornings, when there is no one to impress and nothing to prove, only you and the work and the slow sound of yourself getting better. The sweat is not wasted. Every drop is a deposit into an account no one else can see, in a currency the world eventually has no choice but to respect. Discipline is boring. That is exactly why it works. Anyone can be motivated for a weekend. You are training to still be standing when the motivation is long gone. Keep a private ledger of your effort. Not for anyone else, just so you never lie to yourself about the days you gave everything and the days you only pretended to. You are planting in soil you may not harvest for years. That takes a rare kind of faith, to water a seed you cannot yet see, in a ground that gives no receipts. And then, because life is honest, the setback comes. The plan collapses. The door you pushed on for months slams anyway. The thing you built cracks right down the middle. Doubt arrives late at night, wearing the voice of everyone who ever told you to be realistic. It asks a simple, cruel question. Who do you think you are? You have been on the floor before. Maybe you are on it right now, staring at a ceiling, wondering if the climb was ever worth the fall. But listen closely. The floor is not where you stay. The floor is just the place you learn how far you can be knocked down and still, somehow, get back up. Every scar you carry is a receipt for a lesson the comfortable will never buy. You did not break. You bent, you learned, and you built the next version stronger. The storm is not punishment. It is a filter. It exists to send the half-hearted home, so that only the ones who truly want it are still standing when the sky clears. So you rebuild, not with bitterness, but with the calm of someone who has already survived worse than this and remembers exactly how they did it. Some nights you will feel entirely alone, and in a way, you are. This particular climb has your name on it, and no one can carry the weight of your dream but you. But being alone is not the same as being weak. A river carves a canyon not by force, but by refusing, mile after patient mile, to ever stop moving. You try again, and when that fails, you try again, not because you are certain it will work, but because giving up was never actually one of your options. Slowly, something shifts. The setbacks get smaller, or maybe you just get larger. The same weight that once crushed you now sits on your shoulders like nothing at all. You are not the same person who started. The struggle did not just test you. It forged you quietly into someone the old fear can no longer recognize. Now lift your eyes, past the grind, past the wreckage, to the thing you have been building toward this whole time. The vision, the reason you refuse to quit. Vision is not a fantasy. It is a decision made so clearly and repeated so often that your hands begin to move toward it before your mind even asks them to. And here is where most people break, not in the storm but in the waiting, the long, quiet stretch where you are doing everything right and nothing seems to be happening. But it is happening. Underground, out of sight, roots are spreading and strength is gathering. Growth is loudest at harvest and completely silent at the start. Small things, done every single day, do not add up. They multiply. The person who improves 1% a day is unrecognizable a year later and unstoppable in 10. Discipline is just love for your future self, expressed as a habit. Every early morning is a gift you are quietly mailing to the person you are about to become. Guard your focus like it is the only currency you truly own, because it is. The world will offer you 1,000 small distractions to keep you from your one big thing. Do not rush the process, but never insult it with your patience either. Move with urgency and calm at the same time, like a river that is always moving but never in a panic. You start to notice it in small ways. The way you carry yourself. The problems that used to stop you are now just Tuesdays. You are becoming the person the dream required. Nothing about this was given. Every inch was earned in a fair fight with your own doubt, and that is precisely why no one will ever be able to take it from you. And then, one ordinary morning, you look up, and the skyline you used to stare at from the outside is no longer above you. You are standing inside it. The door that stayed locked for years opens with your own key now. The room you were never invited into has your name on the reservation. You stand at the glass, high above the streets you once walked in the cold and the dark, and you understand something the comfortable never will. The view is not sweet because of what you can see from up here. It is sweet because of everything it cost, every morning, every no, every time you almost quit and didn't. Somewhere down there is the version of you that was told to be realistic, to want less, to stay small. You built this in part so that voice would finally have to go quiet. But do not get soft up here. The summit is just a wider view of the next mountain. Champions do not retire on the top step. They study the horizon and keep climbing. And now that you have it become the door you once needed, reach back down. Pull up the one still climbing in the cold, the way you once wished someone would pull up you. So if you are still at the bottom tonight in the small room under the flickering light, hear this clearly. That is not your ceiling. That is your foundation. You were not born with a golden spoon. You were born with something better. Empty hands, an open horizon, and a hunger that no comfortable person could ever hope to match. So build. Build from nothing, build in the dark. Build until the skyline you once envied has your fingerprints all over it. Because for people like us, there was never a plan B, there was only this.